Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going over my daily forecast for the euro dollar. So yeah, let's get straight into it. On the daily time frame, we've been looking at the structure as bearish with swing low, swing high, break of structure. Show you here. So came up, break of structure here. After a swing break of structure, we expect a swing pullback to occur. So the internal structure switches bullish to facilitate this swing pullback. However, as we pull deeper into this swing range, we think the likelihood of this bullish internal structure holding decreases because we expect overall this bearish swing trend to continue. So as I've been telling you for the last few days, I didn't really expect this low to hold, purely because of where we are in terms of the swing structure. And we just about yesterday had a little sweep of this low here. So coming into today, I think what could be likely is maybe a small, nothing majorly bullish at all, but maybe a small move up after taking some of this liquidity to then continue heading back lower, maybe into this sort of demand area where we get a bit of an internal pullback, and then just play this pullback back down to eventually break this low. So yeah, that's on the daily. On the 4 hour, similar story, but on the 4 hour the structure is bullish. We've had this swing pullback, but of course now you can see how we did not take much liquidity really. It's almost as if these lows are sort of equal. So what I'm probably looking at is maybe even just coming into this sort of supply area before eventually getting a deeper mitigation of this demand, and then maybe we'll come up, fill these imbalances, then come down. But I don't need to predict that far into the future. All I'm sort of focusing on today is sort of looking for potential shorts around here, and longs if we close above here and then pull back into some fresh demand. Then we can look for some longs maybe into fill sort of this imbalance area before coming back down. Okay, so on the 15-minute time frame, this is my main time frame where I look to, so the higher time frames, the daily and 4 hour, are for my bias, and then the 15-minute is where I look where am I going to get involved, and then I use the 5-minute time frame for entries. So 15-minute time frame, we have this bearish swing structure, as you can see here. It closed below, and now we've just sort of had this internal structure here that we're just sort of following. I wouldn't really count this as internal structure because it's pretty small, but anyway, now we're having this. So after a swing break of structure, we do expect a swing pullback. So after a swing break of structure, we expect a swing pullback to then continue going lower. However, of course, we have to be aware that price could just keep sort of internally following its internal structure until we maybe mitigate some higher time frame levels of demand, or take more of that liquidity from that daily low that we saw earlier. So right off the bat, we've got this was the 4 hour demand zone I was showing. We've got this 15-minute demand here, supply, 4 hour supply zone and 4 hour and 15-minute supply zone. This 15-minute supply zone swept liquidity. We've got a little bit of liquidity inducement here from this high, and we're coming up to this sort of zone relatively correctively. Come down, and now we're sort of coming up quite correctively. So this is a zone that I am interested in to get long. However, we have to be aware that following the internal structure after a swing break-off structure is lower probability, because we know that that overall swing pullback could occur at any time. But the fact that we didn't really sweep much liquidity, we've got this sort of higher time frame demand below, I would be willing to take a trade from this zone. If you want to be more cautious, you can wait for a change of character, so you can wait for something like this and then look to get short from a zone like this. Something like this, that could be a nice trade. Or something else you could look for is coming above this high, closing above, or something. So you could, let me just remove this, or hide this. 1 second. So another situation scenario you could look at is coming into this demand. We saw react from it. However, we then push above, close above. So in this situation, we've flipped this supply, and this is essentially would be a flip zone. So we could, the demand created from this sort of flip, we could look to get long to then continue playing that swing pullback. So it would be something like this. So these are the two scenarios that I'm looking at today. In terms of how I do my entries, I go down to the 5-minute time frame. I've got two types of entries. The first will be essentially on the 5-minute time frame. If we come into our zone and we've swept liquidity at some point in this leg, essentially I will enter on the, so when the 5-minute candle closes into this area, I'll enter on the low of that 5-minute candle. There are obviously a few more rules surrounding it, so I wouldn't, trade based off my entry because I haven't really fully described it to you, but I can do that in a later video. But yeah, that is all for today, guys. Thank you.